Opened the people's eyes to the corruption in this government. He did more than any president in the history of this country.
By the way, she raises mules.
I raised mules.
I love the hat. Trump
this
kicks.
is my 30th rally. Drove 17 hours. 17 hours, got here Wednesday. I'm from East Tennessee, near the Smokies.
False. Trump leaves behind him one of the most corrupted presidential careers in history, with over 3,700 conflicts of interest recorded throughout his tenure. In the midst of an ongoing federal investigation for misusing federal documents, it's clear Trump has never prioritized accountability or discretion in his campaign, even to his own detriment. Dude literally could not follow the rules even if he tried, if he wanted to, because he doesn't understand them. So why are people doing this? What Donald Trump understands is what motivates his base: fear. He manipulates evangelicals and their puritanical impulses. He provokes the right's fears around governmental control and directs these stoked anxieties against the Republican Party's true targets.
So prisons are being emptied out from many, many countries, not just 3 or 4 that are closed. Many, many countries, they're being emptied out into our country.
Despite all of Trump's bumbling failure, the blind dedication of the Republican base to an incompetent and self-interested former president only matters to me because there are still people out there that are still suffering because Trump makes ridiculous claims and defends positions that only benefit him. He does not care about sharing and following through with his political visions. He doesn't even have them. This is just an attempt at exploiting his popularity to protect him and cover his wrongdoings.
I want a leader. I don't want a lamb.
That's right. A leader, not a lamb. We know Biden isn't leading much.
I'm here to stand with President Trump. We gotta get Adolf Joe out of office, baby.
Donald Trump and his many fans and admirers come in all shapes and sizes. All manner of people support the former president, currently under investigation by the DOJ. He's in a lot of hot water. But this particular gentleman said he wants Donald Trump back because he reminds him of his parents who used to kick him in the ass to motivate him. Apparently, this guy enjoyed having toxic and abusive relationships with his parents, and he sees a lot of those qualities in Donald Trump, and so therefore he wants him back. And I think it speaks to something that I've been trying to say for a minute. I think a lot of the people who enjoy Donald Trump, like, they really feel like he's a leader. They themselves feel rudderless. They don't feel like they have a hold on everything that's going on in their life, and they're like, yo, this guy is a leader. He's somebody to follow. He's gonna produce results in my life for me. And this guy thinks it's in much of the way that his parents did, apparently.
What they say about Donald Trump. They say that he's mean and everything. Well, you know what? When you're growing up, it was your father who kicked you, your mother who kicked you in the ass to keep you on a straight and narrow. And that's what he does.
Right.
I want a leader. I don't want a lamb.
That's right. A leader, not a lamb.
And look, I said that Donald Trump's fans and supporters come in many shapes and stripes. Here, they're making a joke about white supremacy, right? A black guy who protests to be a Trump supporter, he comes out, he calls himself an Uncle Tom, which again, I think is it's a pretty telling kind of joke.
My boy Mark, we got my white supremacist friend back here, my boy Mark from Jersey.
I'm out here with all these racist white people. I'm here to stand with President Trump. We gotta get Adolf Joe out of office, baby.
The N-word. You know what the N-word is? It's no. It's the nuclear word. He mentioned the N-word yesterday, the nuclear word, not supposed to be mentioned.
What is this supposed to be? A setup and punchline? I gotta admit, whether he's trying to be or not, Trump is usually pretty funny. Staring at the sun during an eclipse, sitting at the tiny desk, drawing on a hurricane map with a Sharpie, but this N-word thing ain't it. And he knows that this joke doesn't work. He's tried it before.
The N-word. You know what the N-word is? It's no. It's the nuclear word. He mentioned the N-word yesterday, the nuclear word, not supposed to be mentioned.
Okay, so I watched everything Trump did for years. That was my job. If you go to the website Factbase, go to Donald Trump, You can search everything this man has said. If I just search in quotations, you can see he's done this before. We can go to the actual video right now.
He mentioned the N-word one time. I was shocked to hear him mention the N-word. You know what the N-word is, right? He mentioned it.
His followers and supporters don't know any better, though. You can tell that they were chomping at the bit, waiting to say the N-word. The comment section of the TikTok I just showed confirms that Trumpers don't see a problem with what 45 said. And I can only imagine the conflict of interest such a thing will present for the Blacks for Trump guys, being paid to stand behind him, literally and figuratively. I guess I should explain what 45 said in reference to the nuclear word and why it's not supposed to be mentioned, but also, no, I'm not going to do that. Seems less important now. But I didn't listen to a word he said after this, and I assume he just brought it up as an excuse to claim he's smart because his family is smart. Foreshadowing. So instead, I'm highlighting the fact that Trump actually could have said that certain word and gotten away with it too, but he didn't. He doesn't deserve credit for that, no, but evidently, this took place at a rally for Ted Budd, Republican candidate for Senate in North Carolina. Budd's opponent is Sherry Beasley, a black woman. Not that the man who linked the N-word at least twice now to the word nuclear is making the connections between candidates and race and dog whistles, but hey, he knows what he's doing, and he once said he has the best words. Also,
I had an uncle who was a great professor for, I believe, 40 years at MIT, and I used to discuss nuclear with him all the time. I understand nuclear. Look up Dr. John Trump at MIT. He was my uncle, many, many years a professor. I used to talk nuclear with him. In fact, every time I say I had an uncle who was a great professor at MIT for 35 years, who did a fantastic job in so many different ways academically. He was an academic genius. And then they say, there's Donald Trump, an intellectual. Trust me, I'm like a smart person.